In today's video, I am going to explain two muscles that inhibit shoulder movement. If I have to talk about shoulder movement, I would like to talk about big shoulder muscles and tiny shoulder muscles like pectoralis major, deltoid, rotator cuff, or maybe shoulder girdle muscles like pectoralis minor and serratus anterior. These muscles are of course important for shoulder movement, but I would like to talk about kind of unexpected two muscles. Let's get started from front part. I want to talk about these muscle first. This one is biceps brachii. Biceps brachii. This blue part is short head. And this yellow part is long head. Both short head and long head attach to scapula. Yep, they attach to scapula. You don't see exact part of long head, but this invisible part is important. So I will talk about this invisible part later. Anyhow, short head and long head attached to scapula. What does it mean? Why is that so important? Well, they attach to scapula. That means these two fibers cross shoulder joint. That means these two heads move shoulder. When you think about biceps brachii, the main function is elbow flexion. Yep, this is main muscle for elbow. Yep, that is true. That is 100% correct. But if you think about shoulder joint, this one also moves shoulder. Then, what kind of movement does it do for shoulder? There are actually three movements. First movement is flexion. Flexion, let's go to lateral view. This is lateral view of scapula. This is biceps brachii. Shoulder flexion is this way. Okay, this is flexion. So if biceps brachii gets tight, that inhibits for extension movement. Okay, this is extension. Biceps brachii does flexion. If there is tightness, that inhibits extension. Right? Does it make sense? And next movement is internal rotation. Okay, internal rotation. Internal rotation. Particularly, long head does internal rotation. Internal rotation is this kind of movement. So if somebody has tight rotation, maybe her biceps brachii is tight, particularly long head. Alright, one more movement that also long head does, that is shoulder abduction. Shoulder abduction. Oh my gosh, it does so many movements. One is internal rotation, flexion, and abduction. That's a lot of movement. Thus, where biceps brachii gets tight, that inhibits for so many shoulder movement. Right? Does it make sense? Okay, this is biceps brachii. Let's go to one more muscle. Alright, I was talking about biceps brachii. That is on front part. I want to talk about posterior part. I want to talk about this muscle. This is triceps brachii. Triceps brachii. I was talking about biceps brachii. You know, there are two fibers. These two fibers both attach to scapula. Now I'm talking about triceps brachii. Actually, only this part attaches to scapula. This is long head. Long head of triceps brachii. See, this one attaches to scapula. Other fibers, they don't. So when triceps brachii long head gets tight, that inhibits shoulder movement. Why? Because this fiber crosses shoulder joint. Long head can do two movements for shoulder. First one is extension. Extension. Let's go to profile view. This is triceps brachii. This is on posterior part. Thus, it does extension. when triceps gets tight, that inhibits flexion movement, that is opposite from biceps brachii, right? Biceps does flexion. If it is tight, that inhibits extension, right? So this is like a front and back relationship. One more movement for long head, that is shoulder adduction. Shoulder adduction. Do you remember the function of biceps long head? That is abduction. Triceps brachii does adduction. This is also opposite movement, right? So when biceps and triceps get tight, that involves so many shoulder movements. Oh, by the way, triceps brachii is also important muscle for elbow joint. Biceps and triceps are both important for elbow, but same time they are important for shoulder movement. Now let's go to a little bit more detail about each muscle's long head. Alright, this is long head of triceps. It attaches to scapula. And close to long head, there is important tissue. This blue one is shoulder labrum. Shoulder labrum. What is labrum? It's kind of connective tissue that supports a joint structure and it absorbs mechanical force around joint. So its function is stabilization. Stabilization of joint. It absorbs shock. So let's say shock absorbing system. Shock absorbing. So this is kind of a meniscus of knee joint. You know, meniscus is important for stabilization and shock absorbing system, right? Labrum is kind of meniscus. Then triceps long head is very close to shoulder labrum, particularly around inferior part. So if somebody plays tennis, baseball, volleyball, these overhead sports, and use triceps brachii chronically, maybe somebody's shoulder labrum gets too much stress and maybe that can lead for injury. That's very, very important. You can say same thing for biceps brachii long head. This one is even more important. In first what I said, biceps brachii becomes kind of invisible around this part. That means tendon of biceps penetrates joint capsule. Joint capsule is one structure that is surrounding joint. Okay, this is very important. Biceps tendon penetrates joint capsule and there is strong relationship with shoulder labrum, particularly around superior part. So if biceps brachii long head got dysfunction or too much tightness, that affects for shoulder labrum. This part is very important, and it is very common that somebody has biceps brachii tendon tear. That is common among the overhead sports such as volleyball, tennis, and baseball. Thus, biceps brachii and triceps brachii are both important for shoulder movement and shoulder injury. Again, other shoulder muscles are equally important. Rotator cuff are important. Pec major is important. The scapular muscle are equally important, but as I said, biceps and triceps are kind of minor muscles for shoulder movement. Yet they are very minor, but it's hugely important for shoulder function. If you liked today's video, please hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. See you next video.